Hey guys, welcome back. In this session, uh, we will look at how to continue with setting up of nodes for different specific dialogues. My name is Vijay Sridhara. I welcome you back. In the last session, we were looking at how to set up the TV related specific question. We also have answered, you have chosen this specific model. It is available with us, and we can also add further dialogue. Do you want to know the price? Or we can allow the user to ask for the price. So what we would do is we will add a child node, or we will add one more node. Here we will say ask user price. So if the user has said TV models and also pricing related intent is asked, then now since this user has asked about this model, we want to save the model in a variable so that we can fetch it later and get the details about it. So we will go to the customize and then allow the slots to be on, apply here, and the slots are available here. If the TV model is identified, save that in the TV model name or model name. If not present, ask the user, please provide TV model name. At least that much we can say. So this is how slots work. Slots, uh, I think these are called slots, and once you allow them, you can have a slot for one variable. Here you can set up the variables. This is a simple slot where you are checking for the TV model name and storing it as dollar model name. This is a variable into which you are storing your um, TV model, and you can, instead of saying TV models, you can just say dollar model name. It will work. So we have stored the model name here. So what we will do in the next this thing is we will say if it has identified uh, this one, or rather I will say if dollar model name is not equal to empty and the user has asked about price, sure, I will get the price of dollar model name. Now from here, how will you get the price is a different question. Let's see how if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll have to make some simple changes. Let's see if it works. So this dialog is done. We have this sequence of dialogues that are happening. Let's clear all the chat and then start with this. Do you have a catalog for TVs? So it says we have four types of TVs, largest. So let's say which type do you want to go for? Largest TV. It has identified. You have chosen TV 65. It is available with us. Please get the price. So before that, if we look at the context here, there are two variables that are set. So one is the model name is already set to TV 65, and the time zone is the default context variable. So there are two variables that are set. So we will say please get the price for it. Let's see. I didn't understand. So it has come out and it is now as it has gone to the anything else here. That's why it is asking I did not understand. You can try rephrasing. So for that, what we need to do is we must need this, we must move this as a child node to this one as a child, and then repeat the same thing if it works. Okay, so the mistake is we put any entity which has largest TV, not just largest. So that is the reason that it is responding that way. So let's do one more time, largest TV. It is available with us. Please, can you get the price for it? Sure, I will get the price for TV 65. How beautiful it is. The conversation is going in the right direction. So we need to understand this is how you set up, how you uh, ensure that the user is following your workflow and not the user is doing a different thing. Now there may be cases that user might want to come out in between the conversation. You need to handle that part of it using something called as digressions. So for example, you can add a digression here, or this, since this is an end node, probably digressions are not available on this. So you can always set digressions here and allow the user come out of this dialog sequence and ask something else. So we will look at that at a later point in time, but for now this is how dialog happens for TV related. Now I want to have a similar dialog for mobiles related. So what I will do is I will add uh, product catalog mobile. If the bot identifies product catalog and entity as mobiles, we do have uh, two mobile brands, Phone and Samcry. Which one do you want to go for? So it's very clear that we want to keep the user engaged in this conversation. So we will obviously add another node underneath this node, but this node has to be moved above this node. We understand that since that's a generic node, or rather we will move this node below this node. So we have a product catalog mobile. Which one do you want? And then there is child node specification. The user has said specific mobile. If the bot has recognized an entity on mobiles, do we have any other entity? No, we have mobiles. So what did we use here? We should not use mobiles. Instead of mobiles, we should use mobile general, because the question is more about do you have uh, do you have a catalog for mobiles. He did not ask anything on the mobile brands. So a specific mobile brand. This is a more generic question. So we will use the generic intent as mobile general. And here we will go to the specifics. Yes, we do have mobiles, whatever the user has chosen. Let me get the cost for you. Or I will say, do you wish to know? the cost. So here I will add a new entity called yes or no, and I will create a new entity saying yes, yep is a synonym, yeah, oh yes. These can be synonyms for yes, and for no it can be nope, never, not at all, no way. These can be synonyms for no. So I just added value. So SN no. Now this is a little different workflow than the TVs because we are asking the user if he wants to get a specific mobile phone price. So do you want to know the cost? Here we did not track the mobile phone, which exact mobile phone is he asking, into a variable. So what we will do here is we will assign a slot and then into product name or mobile name. Please provide mobile name. So we just took only one model. If you remember, there is a Sam Cry and there is a V phone. There are only two models that are available with us, and we did not show any variants like 7, 8, 6, 5, Nebula and all, which we tracked in the spreadsheet. If you remember, for the entities we have multiple model names for mobiles. We just said in the actual application there are only V phone and Sam Cry. There are no variants of it. So from this we want to track users response here. That's another child node. Name of this node is check user response. If it identifies intent, no, it's entity, yes, no. So if it has identified the entity yes, no. If it is yes, we want to do something. If it is no, we want to do something else. So for that, what we will do is we will create one node and then do whatever is required. So we will create sure thing. So and then what we will do is we create one node. We can add a node above this and say check yes. Okay, we don't have to identify anything. We just have to say if the user response equals yes, then say please wait while I get the price for dollar mobile. I think that is the mobile name. Okay, and then wait for response. If it is just yes, if it is no, for example, we will add one more node. Click here, add node below, check no. If the bot recognizes uh, user yes, if the bot user response equals no, no problem. Is there anything else that I can help you with? But here, this user response is something we need to set in the check user response. Sure thing. So here we need to set the slots and apply. So we already have yes, no. Save it into user response. Please confirm yes or no. Sure thing is the response. So instead of response, we can also jump finally to another node. Sorry there. Jump to check yes. If bot recognizes the condition, so let's see how does this work. There are little intricacies, we just have to deal with them. Do you have catalog for mobiles? Please navigate to products. Now that's what is happening. So here we should ask for catalogs and mobile general. What does mobile general say in the entities? We go to mobile general entities and say the value is mobile, and there can be mobiles as well. So clear the context, let Watson do the. Okay, now the Watson is completed its learning. Uh, let's question the Watson. So do you have a catalog for mobiles? It will say yes, we do have mobile brands, Vphone and Samcry. Which one do you want to go for? I will say Vphone. It identified the Vphone entity. Yes, we do have Vphone. Do you wish to know the cost? Yes, I will say. Sure thing. I didn't understand. Okay, this sure thing has come, and further it went to something else as well. So we want to fix this kind of issue. So we don't want to have an yes or no entity, but we want to have an S entity and a no entity separate here in this scenario. So what we would do here is go to entities and remove the S and no, or edit this and rename the S1 alone, rename it to yes, and remove the no part of it. Yes, update the name in the existing ones, remove the no entity or the no values, and create a new entity called no. So we create this no with no, nope, not at all, never, don't. So the value is added, we are out of it, we came to dialogues, we went here and check the specific mobile. We will alter this questionnaire. Now, do you wish to know the cost? That was where the question is, and then we will go into yes and no, check user response. If it is yes or no, if it is yes, then save it to user response. Please confirm. And then So it can be no as well. So if it is or no, we will add one more slot. We don't want to add one more slot here because every slot has to be uh, if every slot is required, we don't want to have another slot. Since this one is optional, we can add one more slot called no here, and I'll save it to user response. Entity is not created. Nope is the entity. Dollar user response. So we can have both of them optional. We cannot. It clearly says we cannot. So either of them is required. So we cannot do it this way. So I can have one of them optional as one and one of them as required. So either one of them will be provided by the user. So we cannot have an or condition here. So what I will do is I will only check for yes here and then store it here if it is qualifying for yes. Sure thing, I will get the price for you for mob phone. I guess that's the name that we used. Mob name. Mob name is the one. So we don't want to jump anywhere. We just want to check the yes condition and just wait on this. So we will now create another node here in parallel to this. Check user response yes. This is check user response no. So if it is entity no, then respond to the user. Sure, is there anything else that you want me to do? And wait for the user input. Let's see if this really works. And we don't want to have these nodes present, so we can delete this node. We don't want to come out to this node and look at it. So all questions and answers regarding the mobiles are answered here itself. So let's ask the question. So it says we have two mobile brands, Vphone and Samcry. Vphone. So I said Vphone, yes, we do have Vphone. Do you wish to know the cost? Yes. Sure thing, I'll get the price for you for Vphone. Okay, so I can still say no. So let's start over. Samcry. Do you wish to know the cost? No. Is there anything else that you want me to do? Wonderful. Isn't this wonderful that the way we coded things are working now? We can still go ahead and ask about TVs. Yes, sir, we have catalog of TVs as well. We have four types of TVs: big, normal, the big one. Hello, nice to see you here. Okay, so we should say big TV. So start over. It is available with us. Okay, get the cost. Let's see. Awesome. It did not even ask me which TV I am asking. It said I will get the price for TV 55. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Now, how to get the price for TV 55? You can have some hard coded values into your entities, or you can get the price from your inventory or your pricing table of your database. So, how to do that? We will do it in the subsequent sessions. But for now, please understand this is how you set the context variables. You can look at the context variables from here. The mobile name is set to Samcry, the model name is set to TV55, and user response is yes. Now this user response is not being wiped out in the context. So If user response is used elsewhere, so this may create a problem because it is already set. So it is important in your application to remove the context every time you converse with the Watson. So you have to clear the context and talk with Watson every time. Unless you know what you're doing, you do not want to retain the context variables when you talk with Watson, because already set variable names may be used in the dialogues, and they may create unnecessary new workflows which we do not anticipate. So please understand, this context is a header, or and it's an important part of the communication between the chatbot and the Watson. And the context you need to retain, because it will contain all the variables that are happening, that are being set and modified. So we have to retain this context back and forth between your application or the chatbot and the Watson. So here we will stop on the Watson. We will start the application development in the subsequent sessions, how to handle this through the application so that we get all these responses in your application. Thank you very much for staying with me.